Welcome to the Royal Smith of Chicago, Illinois, nonprofit home video and artwork creations. In this particular video, we will be looking at the National Space Administration black cube orbit around our sun images. So when we look at this cube the size of Jupiter orbiting around our sun, there's only 3 ancient historical sites on Earth whose ancient architecture, building architecture, refers to the black orbiting Jupiter-sized cube structure in New Jerusalem around our sun. And these architectures refers to the Ethiopian cross in modern Lalibela, the cross-shaped building structure that was carved out of solid bedrock. The area that was left formed the square. When you jump down in this square and look up, you're looking up from the book of Revelation 21:18, returning cubic dimensions of New Jerusalem. Because every cube has a square for a ceiling, a square for a floor, and a square for a left and right wall. So that's the Ethiopian cross-shaped building structure of modern Lalibela, pointing all of the normal hidden humans that was created in Genesis 2:7 to this Jupiter-sized orbiting black cube structure of New Jerusalem around our sun. So when we go and look at the Dome of the Rock, the other architecture in theology, we see the stone rectangular window frames on the outer wall surface. And within each stone rectangular window frame, we see 1, 2, 3 grouping of pyramid squares representing the Isaiah 19:19 Egyptian pyramids in North Africa. So we see 1, 2, 3 grouping of pyramid squares within the stone rectangular window frames, upper left and right hand corners and lower left and right hand corners. Much like when you look down upon the Isaiah 19:19 Egyptian pyramids from a helicopter, you see 1, 2, 3 grouping of pyramid square bases. And Genesis 49 chapter and 8 verse, fourth son of Jacob, as the Ethiopian couching lion sphinx of ancient Giza, gath, Palestine, Ethiopia, and Jerusalem. He's couched down in front of the second pyramid square, which places him in the cube structure of New Jerusalem, in which the National Space Administration SOHO Satellite images filmed in orbit around our sun. Now, when we equate the globe Earth stele pyramid Mercator projections of South America stele pyramids to the Babylonian stele pyramids, we're talking about 5 blocks stacked on top of one another that they form a step that you walk upon on the left side, and 5 blocks stacked on top of one another that they form a step that you walk upon on the right side. So make sure the 5th block on the left and right side at the top is touching. Stand back and you're looking at the pyramid of Khufu's Queen's Chamber in North Africa, the first room in the North African pyramids in Egypt. That first room has is referred to as the Queen's Chamber. And on the back wall, we see 5 blocks carved out of the solid wall, which looks like 5 blocks stacked on top of one another that they form a step that you walk up onto on the left side, and 5 blocks carved out of the solid Queen's Chamber back wall that they form a step that you walk up onto. So when we uncover the globe Earth stele pyramid Mercator projection of the book of Psalms 105th chapter and 23rd verse, 12 sons of Jacob that left the Babylonian stele pyramid civilization of Ham, located in modern Iraq. As they cross the Euphrates River into North Africa, we see the 4th son of Jacob of Genesis 49:8 in the first book of the King James Bible, which is referred to as the Ethiopian couching lion sphinx of ancient Giza and Gath of Palestine, Ethiopia, and Jerusalem. So he enters into ancient Egypt amongst the 12 sons of Jacob, where we currently see him today couched down in front of the Isaiah 19:19 Giza pyramids, all in accordance to the Psalms 105th chapter and 23rd verse, 12 sons of Jacob entrance into ancient Egypt. Now the question is, identifying the cubic dimensions of New Jerusalem within the Dome of the Rock outer wall stone rectangular window frames. And we see it within Ethiopian cross central square. So when we look at the vertical rectangular section of the Ethiopian cross and the horizontal rectangular section, we see that there's 3 pieces to this Ethiopian cross that's being flanked by 1, 2, 3 grouping of pyramid squares on the upper left and right hand corner and lower left and right hand corners within the Dome of the Rock outer wall stone rectangular window frame. So the 3 sections that make up the Ethiopian cross is the vertical rectangular section, the horizontal rectangular section, and the square that's superimposed on both sections. Now when we draw a line from 10 to 3 o'clock, look at the wall clock in your living room. There's 12 hours in a circle. So you draw a line from 11 to 3. So when we look at a blank sheet of paper, okay, and we draw an octagon in the blank sheet of paper representing the dome of the rock roof, since the stone rectangular window frames in which we're decoding in relationship to the orbiting Jupiter-sized cube structure of New Jerusalem around our sun. So we're talking about the dome of the rock outer wall stone rectangular window frames in Jerusalem that has a 1, 2, 3 group in the pyramid square flanking the central Ethiopian cross, where we are trying to decode the square cubic dimensions of New Jerusalem. 1, 4, 40, and 1 pyramid cubit as the pyramid triangular face in Egypt. So when we take an octagon representing the dome of the rock, octagonal equatorial area of the globe Earth, North Pole concentrically viewed map projections, step pyramid Mercator projections. So we take a blank white sheet of paper, draw a square representing the base in the square base in of the Isaiah 1919 Giza pyramids. Now we put an octagon in that square. Now the reason why we start out with the Masonic square is because when you walk up into the dome of the rock octagonal building structure of King David and Solomon in Jerusalem, the first thing you see on the there's 3 levels to the octagonal outer wall surface. The first level is where the doors are. There's 8 walls and only 4 doors. Flanking the left and right side of the dome of the rock doors is stone rectangular window frames. The first rectangular window frame has 2 stone X's, one above the other in the rectangular window frame, whose connected lines within the rectangular window frame reveals an inverted pyramid-shaped UFO interlocking with a cubic structure of New Jerusalem. That's the NASA SOHO Satellite Image Jupiter-sized orbiting cube structure of New Jerusalem around our sun. Okay. Now the second rectangular window frame that on the first level on the outer wall of the dome of the rock that flanks the doorway, it has 3 triangles carved out of stone. Now it's only when you look at the Egyptian pyramid straight forward you see 1, 2, 3 triangles. But the 1, 2, 3 triangles that flanks the right side of the dome of the rock entrance door to the octagonal building structure that has the golden dome, these 1, 2, 3 triangles are vertical. But so when you turn these 1, 2, 3 triangles horizontal, you see the 1, 2, 3 Isaiah 1919 North African pyramids as you would stand straight in front of them and look forward. You see 1, 2, 3 triangles. So as we look at the a square base, so we had the door on the first level of the dome of the rock octagonal outer wall surface, and being flanked by a stone rectangular window frame that has 2 X's carved out of stone within the rectangular window frame, one below the other, which generates the inverted pyramid-shaped UFO interlocking with a cube after you connect the lines of these dual X's, stone X's. So that's the chief message of the lion sphinx of Genesis 49:8, who's referred to as the 4th son of Jacob, who's now cast down in front of the Isaiah 1919 Giza pyramids. So the second rectangular window frame flanking the entrance door on the first level has 3 stone triangles representing the horizontal view of the Isaiah 1919 Giza pyramids. Now the area between the first level stone rectangular window frames has 7 sideways orientated Masonic squares. So like on the blank sheet of paper, you draw a sideways square. Now draw a perfect square with its baseline horizontal. So but if you draw a sideways square on a blank sheet of paper, now if you draw 7 of them sideways squares, okay, under each other, so that means that's what we see on the dome of the rock outer wall, first level. So the dome of the rock was concentrically focused in geometry upon the returning cube A structure of New Jerusalem, globe Earth step pyramid Mercator projection of the 1, 2, 3 group in the pyramid squares, globe Earth outer space corner of the octagonal equatorial perimeter of the dome of the rock roof. So when we return back to a blank sheet of paper and place a square representing the pyramid base, the Masonic square, this Masonic square, it also appears in the dome of the rock, in the cross-shaped building structure in Ethiopia, in modern lalibela, square section on top of this roof. But this Masonic square is seen generating the cubic dimensions of New Jerusalem when you connect 2 of the Isaiah 1919 Giza pyramids together at their bases. So if you're looking at the pyramid of Khufu, the second pyramid or second square within the stone rectangular window frames, upon the dome of the rock octagonal outer wall structure, flanking the central Ethiopian cross. So this, if you look at the first triangular face, you're looking at 90-degree triangular slope of the pyramid. But if you connect two triangles together at their bases, you have created a sideways orientated Masonic square. So far, we have decoded the meaning in geography and astronomy of the 7 sideways orientated Masonic squares that is seen after 2 rectangular window frames on the first level of the dome of the rock octagonal building structure outer wall surface. So, okay, so we move on to the white blank sheet of paper, and we place the square base of the Giza pyramid on a white blank piece of paper. Now we place the octagonal roof of the dome of the rock within that square. Once we draw a line from each corner of the square into the center of the dome of the rock octagonal roof, we have enclosed the dome of the rock octagonal equatorial perimeter of the globe Earth within a huge Isaiah 1919 Giza pyramid. So this seemed to be the chief geometric focus of the lion sphinx of ancient Jerusalem, that ruled over ancient Giza, Gaza, Palestine, Ethiopia, as the fourth son of Jacob in the book of Genesis 49:8. So when we look at the Jerusalem Temple Mount, was chiefly focused upon the fourth son of Jacob. Okay, that is really what we're talking about, the normal-headed 12 sons of Jacob that was created in Genesis 2:7 by a group of elongated-headed Old Testament extraterrestrial Elohim that landed upon Mount Sinai, and Ezekiel's glowing world within the world like u.f.o that had a crystal dome, where prophet Ezekiel saw a biological life form referred to as alien Yeshua city. Now, when we talk about the Allah as Yeshua, we must incorporate what the Quran says about this biological being in the Macabre, or wheel within the wheel, that flew over Jerusalem and Palestine and Ethiopia. It says that Allah concealed himself in his physical appearance on earth was concealed in the physical body form of Michael the Archangel. So that means when we now see biblical will within the world like u.f.os appearing in the skies of Syria, Afghanistan, and Jerusalem, we see brown-skinned and gray-skinned aliens with 3 fingers and 1 thumb on each hand. They stand about 4 feet tall. Now the brown and gray-skinned aliens has a circular reproductive cake-like organ within their belly that has the sperm and ovum corresponding chemistry. So the brown and gray alien has nothing between their legs, smooth skin. So if you take a naked woman and standing next to a naked brown-skinned Afghanistan alien 18 type of Elohim, guardian cherubs of our entire solar system, who's now engaging the United Nations and NATO military force that's being controlled by the Daniel 8:12 Greek and Roman conquerors over the biblical Holy Land. The eye up on the back of the American dollar bill pyramid is the angel of the bottomless pit that gathers all of the militaries and armies of the world and sends them into Jerusalem in the last day. So when you go online and look at real UFOs in the skies of Jerusalem and Syria, they have brown and gray-skinned alien cherubs of our entire solar system being fired upon by the military force of NATO and the United Nations that's controlled by the Greek devil eye up on the back of the American dollar bill pyramid in front of the sun. So this is what brings us back full circle to NASA's SOHO satellite image orbiting black cube-based structure New Jerusalem around our sun. It's in a 3,600-year orbit, which makes it into the chief focus of the Jerusalem Temple Mount. First, outer wall stone rectangular window frame level. Now, when we talk about this, Greek devil eye in front of the sun on the back of the American dollar bill pyramid as the angel of the bottomless pit, or another Greek devil called Apollyon, we must associate the number of the beast to the number of man as being 666 with the Old Testament enemy of Jerusalem called Goliath, in which King David killed with a slingshot. A little boy shot a rock in the center of a big giant forehead called Goliath. And when Goliath fell dead in the Old Testament, this big giant, they saw that Goliath had 5 fingers and 1 thumb on the left hand, and 5 fingers and 1 thumb on the right hand, and the same with the left and right foot. Okay. Now, this proves that there was biological 6-finger extraterrestrial life forms in the Old Testament as enemies. So when we fast forward to the 1947 Roswell, New Mexico 6-finger alien UFO crash, we see the alien autopsy. A Greek white devil image type of alien that has a white man's face or a Greek and Roman face, much like the Prime Minister Netanyahu face. Okay. Which makes the modern ruler of Israel compatible with the book of Revelation 9:11, Greek and Roman conquerors, angel of the bottomless pit. ruler. Okay, that's destabilizing the Middle East. Okay, so when we look at the military forces of NATO and the United Nations being controlled by the Greek devil that conquered Africa, Egypt, Palestine, Ethiopia, and Jerusalem, we must go back to the eye in front of the pyramid, blocking 1 John 1:1, 15 billion year sun zone as it shines 93 million miles away across the black outer east of space towards the 5 billion year old basketball-shaped Earth, as the biblical light that existed before the world and the biblical light that created the world. This is where we see Malachi 4:2 winged sun, this, which is written upon all the ancient Egyptian temple walls, original holy hydrogen light of creation returning in the cube-based structure of New Jerusalem, crystallographic projecting 101 atomic plane. That's now in orbit around our sun. Now, as a Jupiter-sized black orbiting cube A structure. So when we go back to the globe Earth stellar pyramid Mercator projection, we see a group of fallen alien cherubs with a 6-finger DNA is now ruling the normal-headed human race that was created in Genesis 2:7. So this is how we connect Daniel 8:12 Greek and Roman conquerors over the biblical Holy Land areas of Giza, that's where the Isaiah 19:19 Egyptian pyramids exist, and Gaza, that's where the Palestinians wearing white robes and turbans and praying 5 times today towards the east, towards the sunrise over the Black Kaaba in Mecca. So once we look at the full circle, we see the Black Kaaba, the word Arabic, Kaaba in Arabic means cube, and we see the sun rising over the Kaaba. Now, when we look at the cubic dimensions of New Jerusalem being connected to the Isaiah 19:19 Giza pyramid, interior rectangular King's Chamber room, then when we look back at the National Space Administration's SOHO satellite imagery of a cube structure in orbit around our sun, we have identified what? The ancient Babylonian stellar pyramid Mercator projection civilizations of Ham in the book of Genesis, the first black civilizations on earth in the Tower of Babel, as the 12 sons of Jacob carried the Babylonian stellar pyramid globe Earth Mercator projection of the 41.2 degrees north stone face on Mars into North Africa. So, and started the stellar pyramid of Saqqara. This is why we see the Queen's Chamber wall niche as the same 5 blocks stacked on top of one another that they form a step that you walk upon on the left and right side, carved within the back wall within the room in the pyramid of Khufu called the Queen's Chamber. So we see the same stellar pyramid niche within Ethiopia, a modern cross-shaped building structure in Lalibela, a solid building that was carved out of the solid bedrock, a cross-shaped building that was carved out of the solid bedrock. The area that was left formed the square. So this is where we go back to the 7 squares flanking 1, 2, 3 triangles within the stone rectangular window frame on the first level of the dome of the rock octagonal building structure outer wall surface. So when we look at the cube structure of New Jerusalem being portrayed within the dome of the rock outer wall or stone rectangular window frame as it's flanked by 1, 2, 3 group in the pyramid square. Then we see the cube structure within the Ethiopian cross-shaped building structure square roof in lalibela dimensions. In which ultimately uncovers a group of fallen Greek and Roman Roswell aliens that's controlling their National Space Administration, the laser beams and satellites. So when you talk about invasion, it's already occurred in Babylon thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago, okay, by the 6-finger Roswell alien. Who originally dethroned the book of Genesis 2:7 normal-headed African Adamic race that was created on Mars, which the Jerusalem Temple Mount is pointing humans to, all of humanity to. So when we talk about the 1976 Viking frame 35A72 images of the National Space Administration, we see white stone shrimp-like mountain next to 5 African pyramids in a region called CYDONIA. Now, when we look at the white shrimp as the representation of a 1-week-old fetus, then you must hold the number 6 up with 2 fingers in front of your face. Okay. Now hold the white shrimp up with 2 fingers in front of your face. You see the curvature. That's the golden spiral. So you'll see this up on the Martian pyramid complex rectangular king's chamber, the black rectangular king's chamber, where I fold the golden section. You take the rectangular section on the white piece of paper and just fold it, the wraparound, and you'll get the cylindrical projection, okay, of the globe Earth. Ball-shaped female Earth ovum data to the 41.2 degrees north stone face on Mars. That now we see the stone face as viewed from satellite imagery on Mars, representing the Book of Genesis 2:7, normally here the African Adam. So this is where we see a 10-degree sunrise over the stone face on Mars, in which casts an E8 shadow African face of the first Adam. So you see a real African face on Mars. So that means we're talking about ancient Egypt eternity, okay, other than normal here the African Adam. Or eternal existence in heaven. In the Old Testament, in the book of Joshua, there was a war that the prophet was fighting, and he looked up and prayed for more time. The scripture said that the sun appeared to stand still in the midst of heaven and did not go down for about the space of a whole day. Now, for all you modern astronomers that use calculators and distance and time, you know that the sun is shining 93 million miles away across the black outer reaches of space towards the basketball-shaped Earth, North and South Pole region, where 1 John 1:1 biblical light that created the world is being pulled through a tornado-like magnetic field that enters through the top of the ball-shaped Earth and through the bottom of the ball-shaped Earth. So these two magnetic fields meet in a center and we get to reaccord. Same thing is going through the sun. Two tornado-like magnetic fields. And when they touch tip to tip, we see the toroidal magnetic field matrix of the sun. And the same thing occurs at the Earth, a toroidal or donut-shaped magnetic field. So if you look at a big white donut orbiting in outer space and drop the ball-shaped Earth in the center of the white donut, now cut the white donut sides all off. You'll see two tornadoes left from the top part of the donut and the bottom part. That's what I mean by the tornado-like magnetic fields. Now, the 41.2 degrees north stone face on Mars is pointing, it appears within the basketball shape of the red planet. So that means a 1-week-old fetus is represented in front of 5 African pyramids, which decodes the Isaiah 19:19 Giza pyramids back here on Earth, as discovered by Laurel Smith of Chicago, Illinois, nonprofit home video and artworks creations. So the embryonic red planet form of the ball-shaped female Earth ovum as seen in Biology 101 with the electron microscope, where it's so small you need a pair of tweezers to pick the reproductive egg of the female, called the ovum, up out of the ovarian tract. But it's exactly shaped like a brown basketball. So when we see the 41.2 degrees north stone face on Mars as a white rectangle, and that has a white shrimp in the half of the side of the stone face on Mars, 41.2 degrees north, aerial viewed image, we see then a 1-week-old fetus appearing within the ball-shaped spherical female Earth ovum image on Mars. So when we equate the ball-shaped ovum of all females as a geometric representation of the basketball-shaped Earth, then when we discover a white 1-week-old shrimp-like fetus next to 5 African pyramids within the red planet ball spherical structure, we're talking about the origin of the first African Adam, which matches the 400-year-old mistranslated King James Bible introduction of a Greek and Roman image of Jesus or Jehovah to the Jerusalem Temple Mount. Why? Because we now see the National Space Administration Q-base structure of New Jerusalem being generated within the Dome of the Rock outer wall stone rectangular window frame square area of the Ethiopian cross. And at the 1, 2, 3 grouping of pyramid squares is representing the Isaiah 19:19 Egyptian pyramids. So when we connect the African Sphinx to a Jupiter-sized orbiting moon-sized cube structure, H structure of New Jerusalem, around our sun that has a 3,600-year orbit, we have decoded the Babylonian stealth pyramid civilization of Ham that entered into ancient Egypt. Original globe Earth stealth pyramid Mercator projections are the 4th son of Jacob, who's referred to in the book of Genesis 49:8 as the Ethiopian couching lion sphinx of the tribe of Judah, who couched down in front of the Isaiah 19:19 Giza pyramid as he faces today east towards the sun. We see the cobra on the sphinx forehead representing the male sperm cell that was created in microbiology 101 through the process of helium nuclide emerging from the sun 93 million miles 93 million miles away across the black outer reaches of space. As this helium nuclei bombards the aluminosilicate composition of all garden soils, even the Garden of Eden soil, we see a radioactive P30 phosphorus atom. So a radioactive glowing phosphorus atom. Phosphorus is the 15th element on the periodic chart. There's 92 atoms on the periodic chart. Phosphorus is the 15th. So the male sperm cell is represented as the cobra on the thing's forehead is at 66 feet height. That's the height of the lion sphinx in front of the pyramid of Khufu. When you place the pyramid inside of a basketball, where the top of the basketball touch the circle, draw a circle. Where the top of the pyramid, if you place the pyramid inside of a basketball, where the top of the pyramid touch the top of the basketball, draw a circle. That's 90 degrees in geography on the basketball-shaped Earth. The base of the pyramid is the halfway level of the basketball, or the dominant octagonal equatorial perimeter of the North Pole concentrically viewed map image of planet Earth. That's the image where you place the Earth at your feet and look straight down upon it like a basketball, where we see spokes in the bicycle wheel emerging from the octagonal equatorial dominant rock roof of the basketball-shaped Earth. Now, this is also where we can look at the ball-shaped female Earth open data of the red planet, when we see, as viewed from satellite imagery, a white shrimp-like mountain that has a 10-degree shadow, casting an EA shadow African face of Cydonia, representing the book of Genesis 2:7, normally the African Adam, creation on the fourth planet, in distance to our sun. So when we talk about the reason for all of the stealth pyramids back here on Earth, in South America, Pumapunku, Tihuanaco, and Babylon, then we have uncovered the stone face on Mars, original globe Earth stealth pyramid Mercator projection purpose to all of the normal-headed humans that was created upon the fourth planet. Now, if this turns out to be astronomically correct, okay, by modern astronomers, and microbiologists and archaeologists concerning the dominant rock outer wall stone rectangular window frame 1, 2, 3 group in the pyramid squares that's seen flanking the central Ethiopian cross. Okay, then we have uncovered the common Ison pyramid form. The Chinese satellite imagery is the only satellite firm that truthfully and honestly showed the pyramid 7 form of common Ison. So moving to the black outer regions of space, so we see a huge pyramid surrounded by a ball of white light, and on the outer surface of the pyramid 7 form of common Ison, we see the Jerusalem Temple Mount, aerial view early 1930s entrance gate, adjacent building structures images, where the adjacent building structures seen from a helicopter on the early 1930 Jerusalem Temple Mount entrance gate area, behind the entrance gate area, is actually generating elongated headed African ancient of days 000111075 face of the first Adam. So that's Genesis 1:26. Elongated headed African Adamic race, such as portrayed upon the Egyptian temple walls, where we see watermelon shaped headed African pharaohs. Now, when we compare this archaeological and theological discovery of the first Adam, which appears upon the Jerusalem Temple Mount, air review 1930s entrance gate adjacent building structure area, we see a white stone building in back of the entrance gate up on the Temple Mount, seen from a helicopter, which represents the white robe that the African elongated headed African ancient of days 000111075 face of the first Adam is wearing. Now, at the back of this rectangular stone building structure, we see a cube dome building structure, and it's generating several dome building structures, and they are generating the eyes within the within the 000111075 elongated headed African ancient of days Jerusalem Temple Mount face of the first Adam. So that means the second Adam is a Genesis 2:7 normally headed human race, where we get the 12 sons of Jacob, DNA variety pack of all of humanity from. So now, when we unify humanity, well, that means you got to unify humanity within a circle. And once we do this, we see the Arctic Circle in outer space and up the ball-shaped female Earth oval. So the entire Earth sphere is representing the female reproductive organ. Okay, so that means that all of humanity emerges after 9 months out of the ball-shaped female Earth oval from a white stone shrimp-like fetus image that represent the 1 week old fetus or the stone face on Mars. As viewed from a satellite imagery, it looked like a white shrimp next to 5 African pyramids. So when we unify humanity, we see then that the Babylonian stealth pyramid civilization of Ham entered into ancient Egypt after crossing the Euphrates River from the Babylonian and stealth pyramid civilization of Ham located in modern Iraq. So the stealth pyramids in Babylon was carried into North Africa, and we see the stealth pyramid of Saqqara. This is why the Queen's Chamber wall niche, it represents the what? The globe earth stealth pyramid projection of the first African Adam creation. But the astronomical Mars data got lost in theological racism concerning the African sphinx in front of the Isaiah 1919 Giza pyramid. But now when we decode the dual stone X's within the first level of the dome of the rock outer wall surface, flanking the entrance door, we see it's generating an inverted pyramid-shaped UFO 7 interlocking with a cube, which brings us back full circle to the National Space Administration SOHO satellite imagery, orbiting Jupiter-sized cube-based structure in New Jerusalem. Now, that means then that this cube-based structure is connected to the dome of the rock outer wall stone rectangular window frames. And the only way we can see this is by Laurel Smith of Chicago, Illinois, nonprofit home video artwork creations. Globe Earth stealth pyramid Mercator projection of the cross-shaped building structure located in modern lalibela roof. Now this is where we see the cube within the roof of the lalibela cross-shaped building structure square area, and it decodes the 7 groups of squares that flanks the stone rectangular window frames on the dome of the rock outer wall stone rectangular window frame area. So this brings us back to the niche within the pyramid of Khufu Queen's Chamber back wall as representing the base of the cross-shaped building structure seen from a helicopter within the square enclosure area in Ethiopia. So this is where we uncover the pyramid of Khufu Queen's Chamber wall niche to the dome of the rock outer wall left and right corners of the central Ethiopian cross within the stone rectangular window frame, where we see 5 blocks stacked on top of one another that they form a step that you walk upon on the left side, and the same with the right side. And so this is the niche in the pyramid of Khufu Queen's Chamber back wall, and so we see it in the cross-shaped building structure base in Ethiopia, in modern lalibela. So when we go back to the 41.2 degrees north on north stone face on Mars, that was taken by the National Space Administration, 1976 Viking frame 35A72. Satellite imagery of the red planet. We see then a white shrimp-like fetus representing a 1 week old fetus. So the white shrimp-like mountain seen from space next to 5 African pyramids. So we see a 1 week old mountain face of the second Adam, the normal-headed African Adamic race, where existing within the spherical red planet, ball-shaped female Earth ovum geometry, which shows us then that the entire Jerusalem Temple Mount astronomical data concerning the stone rectangular window frames, 1, 2, 3 group in the pyramid squares flanking the central Ethiopian cross that has at its left and right corners the globe earth stealth pyramid Mercator projection of the book of Psalms 105th chapter 23rd verse 12 sons of Jacob. Now remember, the illegal name change 400 years ago in theological racism wiped out the 4th son of Jacob that entered into ancient Egypt amongst the 12 sons of Jacob history out of the 400-year-old mistranslated King James Bible that's now being read in every church around the world. Now, what do I mean by the illegal name change? Well, in the book of Ezra, 1st chapter, 3rd verse, it says, "Let us go up to Jerusalem, which is located in the land of Judah, and build the house of the Lord God of Jacob." Because it's the 12 sons of Jacob that entered into ancient Egypt after crossing the Euphrates River and started the stealth pyramid of Saqqara. This is why the 12 sons of Jacob, and we see the 4th son of Jacob in Genesis 49:8 entering into ancient Egypt amongst the 12 sons of Jacob, where we currently see him today cast down in front of the Isaiah 1919 Giza pyramids, in which appears within the dome of the rock outer wall stone rectangular window frames as 1, 2, 3 group of the pyramid squares flanking the central Ethiopian cross. So when we decode the Ethiopian cross, 1, 2, 3 Egyptian pyramids, that's flanking moon-sized cube, Jupiter-sized cube-A structure of New Jerusalem, we see the entire salvation plan of the 12 sons of Jacob as geometrically displayed by the 4th son of Jacob, dome of the rock outer wall stone rectangular window frame, globe Earth stellar pyramid Mercator projections, geometry, and master masonry. So when we uncover this great archaeological, theological, and astronomical discoveries of the 12 sons of Jacob, interest into ancient Egypt, we see that when we flip the 41.2 degrees north stone face on Mars upside down, we see the chin. And the chin, like if you take your head off your shoulders and place it on the table. Okay, so take a white marker. Now, the first level marks your chin. That's the top of the Babylonian style pyramids. Now, your lips area is the second level of the stele pyramid in Babylon and South America, and Puma, Punku, and Tiwanaku. Okay, the nose is the third level. So you got 3 lines from the chin, the mouth, the nose. Now the eyes is the 4th level. Okay, so the forehead is the 5th level. Okay, so we got the chin 1, the mouth 2, the nose 3, the eyes 4, and a forehead where the brain is at is the 5th level. So when we look at Mars face connection in microbiology as a white mountain image, the mountain image is viewed from space upon the 4th planet. Look like a white shrimp in half of the rectangular stone face on Mars data. Okay, 10 degree sunrise generate an EA shadow African face. Okay, emerging out of a 1-week-old fetus. Within the red planet ball-shaped female Earth ovum data.